So first thing you need to do is come over to keepa.com and you're going to need to go to register, and you're going to have to create an account with Keepa. There is two options, a free and a paid, and you basically need the paid version. It's going to give you historical data, which is the thing that's going to allow you to make good informed decisions, which we're going to go through today in this video. Now, to let you know, it costs about 19 euros per month, which is about $20. And this is what you're going to need to do or access to use Keepa to the standard that we're talking about in this video today. Once you get Keepa installed, you're going to see a Chrome extension pop up here, which is going to show you Keepa is loaded. Now, when you come to any Amazon listing, when you scroll down, you're going to start to see this information pop up in the middle. And we're going to go through it now in detail. What I'm going to do is click on these little boxes and turn off everything that we're currently seeing so we can start fresh. So right now you're looking at the Keepa data on your Amazon listing. And what you may see is 3 boxes. And if you don't, if you click on here, subranks, it will hide the middle one and it will turn on that one. So if you don't see 3, that's why. Now, what you're basically going to see here is this is going to be time along there, that date axis, and all of them are along time. And what we've got in the top is information around the product and the price history. And then we can see more around the sales rank. And then finally, the competition down the bottom. And I'll go through them in more detail. So if we just change the time axis first, so you can see here we've got day, week, month, 3 months, year, and all time. So the history of the product's being tracked. Now we'll go back to 3 months. And then along the top, what we have is sales rank. Now, sales rank is a number which Amazon records on the listing, and that's for that specific category. So for example, right now, we're in what would be considered the beauty category. And if I scroll down and show you over here, product details, you'll see it'll be beauty and personal care. And this is ranked right now 221,000. And that's because it's reading here in the top 100. So this 221,000 will show up around here. So you can see this is hovering around 221,000 there. So it's going to record that number over time. And you can see how that number's changed over time. The closer it is to 1, the faster selling the product is. So it's going to record that number over time that Amazon displays, which helps you to understand how fast this product is selling. Number 2, you have what's known as the buy box. Buy box is this pink line that gets recorded. And this is basically just a reflection of what is this number up here. This is the price that you pay when the customer buys the product. So 76, 96, or 69, sorry. So you can see 76, and it's going to change when we kind of get to the end. Right here, there you go, 97, and it will update when it comes through. So let's go back to 3 months. And then we get Amazon. If Amazon's on the listing, and you can see Amazon's price in this orange bar. So you can see there, just hover over, and you can see it will tell me the price over time. So I can see the historical price of Amazon, which is very helpful. Now, on top of that, you're going to get new price. Now, new price is not necessarily the price that customers pay, but it is the lowest price available. A lot of the time, this will be what's known as a merchant fulfilled seller, whereby they have a lower price and maybe they've got shipping on top. Now, they may not be winning the buy box, but they are the lowest. So if I click here, you can see right now, this is saying buy for 76.90 or 69. If I click here, what you'll probably notice, and if I just come back out, is actually it says here new from 76.37. So I can click on this and I can see right now the buy box is Amazon at 76.33, but there might be someone actually even cheaper, 75.97. Like again, we have people cheaper, and you can see like where it's sold from. So sometimes you're going to see that where the price is actually cheaper, but that's just to make you aware. It doesn't necessarily mean it's selling for that price. That would be the buy box, which would be the price it's selling for most of the time. Then on top of that, we can look at just FBA sellers. If I turn all of these off, you can see history of the FBA sellers. Oh, turn off that. So you can see those dots there. And then also as well, you can see FBM sellers. So record a history of the FBM sellers. Now at any point on these data, you can literally click on them and load up, see who it was. And you can even click into their stores and find out who the seller is, learn more information. We'll talk about that later. But what you're going to see is at any point you can click on any of these lines and it helps you to understand. So here we've got Amazon, here we've got the buy box. You can click and see who's on the buy box and see who won the buy box, what date, and it shows you about their pricing history for their price, just that seller, and then also their stock history, which is really, really useful. What I generally do when I'm selling on Amazon, I'll generally just have the buy box. I'll definitely have Amazon on and sales rank. I'll be looking at those 4. They're the ones that I'll look at because otherwise it gets a bit too messy. There's too much information. Now, the next graph we see down here is what's known as the category information. Now, what you can do is turn them on. So this is the main category, and this is where we come down here and we can see it says beauty and personal care, which is the main one. And we know it's the main because it says afterwards, see top 100. But you'll also notice it has what's known as subcategories. So it says foundation and makeup. Now you can turn those on to have a look at, so foundation and makeup. And there was another one called face brushes. But for me, I never look at them. I'd only ever have beauty and personal care on. If you have a product that sells fast, this is, for example, a Lego Star Wars right now. And you can see this product right now here has 800 bought in the past month. And Amazon is showing us that information. Now Keepa records that information in this middle graph. And you can see here, it's got this yellow line, which shows you monthly sold. And right now, that monthly sold, and if I zoom in, is coming up to 800 per month. So I can see what this number here was showing. Oh, this 800 number here, what that was, how that's changed over time. So it gives me a good idea. So I can see historically, that's really been about 200, maybe even down to 100. But recently, it's come up really, really high. Now it's 800, so it's growing. So more and more people are buying this. And I can see even historically, back in January, this was selling even 2,000. But then before that, it was about 200 per month. So it gives you a good idea over time. Now let's go back to this product. Now the final graph we're going to look at is the one down here. This tells us about the product history, competition, and the ratings and reviews. So first of all, we have ratings, which are basically the rating of this product. Now you can see up here, it's got this 4.8 rating as given by the customers, and you can see what that number's been over time and if that's changed. So pretty consistent, always about 4.8. The next one we're looking at, review count. So how many reviews does this product have? So you can see 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. So again, you can see here, it's got like 9 rating. And if we scroll down, you can see the reviews here. So you can see all like most recent, so how many reviews they've got, and we can see that. So here is the global rating. We can see that score coming up. And then the final one we're going to look at is new offer count. This is something that I look at all the time, and you'll understand why later on in the video. So I'll hide these for a second. This is basically just telling you how many sellers are on the listing. So new offer count, people who are selling this product as new, not used. And if you see right here, it says other sellers on Amazon, new is 6. And if you hover right here, it'll say new offer count is 6. So basically what Keepa's doing is recording how many sellers are on that listing over time, which is really important because it's going to help you to understand supply and demand, and also what will happen to price, which basically means you're going to buy profitably or not. And we'll explain that later on. So that's basically the Keepa chart, and it helps you to understand what's happened to all the different metrics on the Amazon listing over time, so you can predict what's going to happen going forward. Now, I'll say that again because it's really, really important. Why do we want this information? What we're really looking at is as we do the analysis on our products, if I zoom into 3 months again, we know historically the price has been around maybe 69, a little bit higher, 80, for example. And I'm just looking at this pink line right now, maybe 69 here, 72. Then if we know what the price has been in the past, then what we can probably guess is what the price is likely to be in maybe 2 or 4 weeks time, which is when we buy our products and ship them into Amazon, which is really, really important. So the whole point behind Keepa, looking at all of this data, is for you to make a prediction about what is going to happen in the future, which is when your products are going to land in Amazon. That's the key thing you're trying to understand, is using the past data to predict what will happen in the future, saying, should I buy this product or should I not? And if so, if I do buy, how many do I buy? Now, when we're doing analysis on the graphs, what we're really trying to do is, again, predicting. So if I'm going to draw on this graph, and let's have a look with you right now, I will draw on the actual graph to help you understand. When we look at this pink line, what I'm probably going to say is it's been down here at like maybe a bit lower, but also a bit higher. So I'm trying to predict what this price is going to be, maybe out here. That's the thing that I'm thinking about. So if you think about it, today is going to be, and I'll draw a line, this is today, right now that we're looking at. And I'm probably going to say 4 weeks out. So I'm probably going to be, what do I think the price will be here? Now this product right now, really, really simple. It's pretty straight. I'm probably going to say I can predict the price will be pretty stable. Now the other one I'm going to be always looking at as well is like this offer count. So I can see it's kind of come up, but now it's quite flat. So I can predict that maybe the offer count should generally be the same when my products come in. So I can probably predict the price and I can predict the offer count. And I think if you look at the sales rank, This green line is kind of gone up and down, but I'd say it's pretty stable around that. So this product, I'd say, is a pretty stable product over the last 3 months. Not much changes in the buy box price, in the sales rank, or even the new offer count. And they're the 3 key things that we're looking at over the course of the product to say, what do I think the price will be? So for me, I can pretty much say, I think that price will probably be around this number, which is going to be, what are we looking at? 73, maybe 72. So when I'm using my calculator tool, for example, if I'm going to be using Seller Amp, which I have right here, I might say, I'll put in 74, for example, in my calculations. And obviously that's going to be the sale price that I'm predicting it's going to be. So again, I can use that information to help me understand what's happening. Now, also as well, specifically about this exact listing, what can I also see is that Amazon's on the listing. But I can also see the buy box right here. I'm just going to hover over that buy box and take a screenshot. Now, the one thing that I'm looking at is when I hover over, and let's just draw it now, when I put my mouse over this buy box icon here, what do you notice? You actually notice up here, there's this kind of weird line just popped up. Now, what does this mean? This is basically telling you who is the buy box owner at certain times. So you can see right here, we've got some blue, we've got lots of this kind of like orange, and I'll just do it red. So there's lots of it here, loads and loads and loads and loads. And then also as well, and I'll kind of do it yellow, but it's not necessarily right. We've got some yellows here as well. This is going to be different colors. And you might be asking, why the different colors? Well, the blues mean merchant fulfilled, fulfillment by merchant, FBM. So you can see that at this time right here, an FBM seller has won the buy box. Red means FBA. So you can see FBA seller, FBA seller, FBA seller, FBA seller. Lots of times FBA's been winning this buy box. And then orange, or I put yellow arrow, is really Amazon. Amazon has won the buy box. Now, why is this important for you to know? Because when you are selling against Amazon on a listing with Amazon, what we generally tend to see is that Amazon doesn't play fair. Their marketplace. So what we're always going to do is hover over the buy box information, and we're going to have a look to see who's winning the buy box and how much. If you see that it's always yellow or orange, then you're going to be like, Amazon's winning that. I don't want to compete on that listing with them. But if you're seeing like this one, Amazon barely win, and it looks like other sellers, especially FBA, are getting in, then it's very likely you'll be able to sell your products on this listing as well. Now, the other one that I'd also just keep in mind of is at what price does this seller work? So what you may find is that when the price is high, Amazon takes the buy box. So for example, right here, you can see it's pretty high. Amazon's taken the buy box at those points, so at the highest prices. But when the price gets lower, which is say here, you can see that this is an FBM seller or FBA seller. So that means that at a certain price, Amazon will give you the buy box, but if you go too high, Amazon will take it off you. So just be mindful of that. It's something to look at, and the Keepa chart helps you to understand that as well. So let's jump through some other listings and talk you through about what you can learn from them as well. Now, I did say when you're looking at these products, you really want to be looking at key factors, which are going to be buy box, sales rank, Amazon, the new seller offer count. But there's some things that you need to be really careful of because the information isn't as easy to understand as you think. So let me show you this next listing, which is going to help you to understand what I'm talking about. So right now we're looking at this product. We can see straight away, we've got Amazon coming and going off the listing, like hasn't been available here, kind of coming and going a lot here, but in the past they have been. The one thing I want you to look at is this sales rank. When we look at this sales rank, what we're really trying to notice, and while it has disappeared right here, we'll come back down and we can see actually in the product description or down here, there is no sales rank. So this means Amazon's no longer showing it, but this product is probably still selling. But what I'm going to share with you, if you look at the sales rank right now, it's going up and down, up and down, up and down. So you might be thinking, great, it's selling, which is a common indicator of selling products. But let me just zoom out and show you something else. What you're going to notice right here is, and turn everything off. What you're going to notice right here is, can you see when we draw over this, can you see that this sales rank for this period of time was really like, it's kind of very much like up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And then all of a sudden it goes down and then it just stays down. This is really interesting. And this is a danger that a lot of people make within their business when they're not doing proper analysis. So what does it mean? This product, when we look at this historical product, what we're noticing here is in the past, it really didn't sell very well. And then all of a sudden, it dropped down and sold really, really well. Now, in the world of supply and demand, what you're probably going to find is that sometimes if the price changes dramatically, then sales will go up massively. You understand that. That might be like, oh, the price has gone down, so the sales now increase. Great. But the price has not changed. You can see the buy box has been very consistent, about £10. But what has changed is the sales rank has gone crazy from very nothing to now really, really low. Now, a lot of the time when you see this is going to be because Amazon's doing what's known as merging listings. What you'll notice right now is here, there are lots of other different variations that you can select. So what's happened is most likely this product was on its own, there were no variations you can select, and then all of a sudden Amazon took this listing, this page, and amalgamated it, put it together with all these other ones, so now you have all these variations. So what's happened is this sales rank now has gone from just the individual product to all of the products, which you can see right here, sell, 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 sell. So you need to be really careful, is because this is probably the true reflection of this actual product. And then this is the true reflection of all of the products together in that variation listing, which is something to be really careful of. When you think it's selling well, it's actually not. Now, another top tip we can do if we're worried about sales rank is we can go into what's known as the data tab. And I love the data tab because it gives you real information. Under the data tab, you have what's known as product offers, and you can see information about the product. We generally don't look at this unless there's something specific about the product we're after, but I will always come to the offers tab and I'll have a look. And what I'm really interested in is I'm looking at who are the sellers, but really I'm interested in their stock history. And let me explain why. So if I go to turn on Prime, which is FBA only, and historical offers, what I want to do is have a look down at the sellers, and I'm looking for this drop. Can you see here, this seller had 10 in stock, 10 in stock, and then all of a sudden dropped down to 7. So over this period of time, he had some in stock and then he sold 7. Now we always choose FBA because we know that that stock's in Amazon. And then we're looking at the sales drops because we're trying to figure out how much is selling. So right now we're over a 90-day period, which is up here. And you can see this guy had 10 and now he's dropped down to 7. So in that period, actually he made a little drop here, so 5. In that 90-day period, he sold 5 units, which means it isn't really selling that fast. So I'm having a look at all these other sellers and I'm looking at their stock and I'm not seeing anything. And just remember, I've turned on historical stock offers. And so Keepa is showing me the stock counts. And so I can basically see by way of inferring if their stock drops, they've made sales. If it doesn't, there's probably no sales. So this product really doesn't sell at all, sells very little. I can even zoom out a little bit longer, maybe 180, have a look. I can see this guy sold a few, probably restocked, and he's still sat there on 12 today. And since September, he's just been holding 12 in stock and not making any sales at all. So again, I don't think this product is selling very well at all. So it's something to be really mindful of there. Now, I just want to take a quick moment out to say this video is great. It's helping you to scale your business and learn what you need to learn. But do you know what's even better than watching this video? Getting live training, getting live feedback, even watching someone doing live analysis on your deals. This is why I put together the Amazon FBA War Room with a fellow 7-figure Amazon seller, where we support Amazon sellers every single week with live training and 2 live Q&A calls where you can bring your deals to have them analyzed and understand how they work. Now, if this is something that is interesting to you and you want to join a community of like-minded individuals who are looking to take their business seriously and get the support that you need to scale, all for a very low monthly fee, well, you can check out our Amazon FBA War Room for a free 7-day trial today. Just have a look at the links down below. I'll put a link in the description. Join me in the War Room and let's get your business scaling where it needs to be. Right, let's get back to Keepa. Now, I just showed you a Keepa chart, which is about sales rank, but you need to understand about some other types of products whereby if you buy them wrong, you're going to be losing money. So let me jump over to these products right now that are going to help you to understand. Okay, so this is a great product that we looked at earlier, the one where we had this monthly sales rank. Now, this is a PS4 Star Wars, game that you can buy. And the one thing you need to understand about games, computer equipment, maybe even types of clothing whereby they're time limited. Could be things like football jerseys, football shirts. They are going to have, they're going to always start high, they're going to come down low. So let me show you right now. If you look at this product now, it looks about $20, which looks great. But if you were to come back and open all time on this Keepa chart, what you'll notice is the buy box, the price of the product, started really high. You know, we even peaked at nearly $100, 94. But over time, it's come down. And it's come down. Why? Because these types of products generally start really high and then start getting cheaper and cheaper over time. And this is an important thing you've got to understand, that certain types of products such as computer games, console games, jerseys that I talked about, things whereby they're very seasonal, like, you know, come in season and they're only available for that season. They start really expensive because they're in high demand and then the price drops off. So you've really got to just keep an eye. And this is a really important lesson to learn about buying products with history. If, for example, if we were looking at this product right now and we were looking at just that graph, that's all we had, you might think, well, that 59 looks like a good price. I could predict that's going to be 59 in the future. But obviously, as we zoom out, we get back to 1 year and then zoom in again, what you can see is that 59 didn't hold and it started dropping down and down and down. So one of the top tips I'll share with you is, in my game, we generally don't buy products. We don't buy any products whereby there's less than 6 months worth of sales data, which means down here, I'm looking for a minimum of 180 days, because that just helps me to understand that the graph I'm looking at now is a real representation of the product, which really helps you to understand that you probably now understand the buy box price and what the market is telling you the price is, not just maybe high coming down low. Now, the reason why I show you this is because the next ASIN I want to show you is a dangerous ASIN to be watching, and let me show you why. So here we are right now into this product, and it looks like it's selling really well, 400 per month. But when I come down to the graph, what I think you're going to be looking at, first of all, is you're going to see right here, it's only been available for 32 days. Number two, it started off about $49 or $50, and right now it's coming down, it's about 43. And what we can see is this is starting to trend down. And what we really don't know is, where is that going to end? And when you have such small amount of data, i.e. 32 days, you just don't know where it's going to end. So what you're really looking for is how much data do you have? And again, I say 6 months. And if it's less than 6 months, I won't buy it. But I need it to be over 6 months, which is really important. Now, there's one thing on this graph that if you know, that would be another reason you don't buy. And let me explain that to you right now. So not only is the price going down, but what we're also noting is this new offer count down the bottom, this is going up. And I want to explain why this is a really big danger and why you don't want to be buying products like this. Let's jump through some graphs right now. Okay, so here's the product I've got right now, and this is going to be a VitaCoast, and it's I think it's a supplement. So let's just go down to the Keepa chart. Now, the one thing I want to share with you is, what are we seeing on this graph? Well, we're seeing, first of all, the price. You'd probably say, Tom, looks pretty stable. But what we are noticing is it's pretty stable here, but a few more, and now it's starting to go up. And what we do notice is that this price, right, and the number of new offer counts and new sellers is the highest it's ever been on this graph. So really, really high. So when we ever see this, what we can see straight away is that the supply, the number of sellers, is increasing. And this should raise alarm bells. Why? Because when the supply increases, means that generally you will probably see that the price decreases, comes down. Now, I kind of cheated a little bit here. I've actually zoomed into a certain area and I want to zoom out and show you what happened. So right now we're seeing this moment. So let's kind of zoom out, and I'm going to zoom into this bit here. So this is the exact same graph, and this is where I cut it off before, and I'll draw on the graph for you just to help you understand. So before, my nice lines were drawn like this. This is the graph. And then we had this, and it started going up. Now, what do we see? We see that as this has gone up, what's happened to the buy box price? It started coming down. And actually, this has remained really, really high for a period of time. And what we have seen is this has started to continue to decline. And then it starts coming back up again. But when did this start coming back up again? Let's come down here. Only at this point. But the new offer count, competitors, have been decreasing for a long period of time. So what do we see? Now, if we look right here, what we're looking at is it takes time for the price to decline. So you can see the new offer count increased to the highest point around here, but the actual buy box price did not hit its lowest until probably nearly even a year later, November 2022 up to 6 months later. This would be like May, June, for example, 2022. That's when it hits lowest. And then the suppliers started declining around here, which would be like April, for example. But it wasn't until June that we actually started to see the price recover. So there's one thing you've got to understand when you're looking at these graphs is that if the new offer count is going up really, really high, it basically means that the buy box price is going to come down and it might not react straight away. And what you might see is that actually the new offer count is really high, but it's still profitable. It doesn't mean that when you ship your products in and 2-3 weeks later, it's going to be profitable. It's likely to continue declining for a long period of time. And it won't be until the new offer count starts coming down. It'll be significantly after that will the price start to recover. So just be really, really mindful of that. That's a key thing you've got to be looking for, because this is one of the biggest mistakes new sellers make. They're still buying products which are profitable, but what they don't realize is that it's going to go down in price. Really, really important. Now, I can show you that again on this graph. And if you have a look here, if I zoom in again, what can we see? We can see new offer count's gone up. What's happened to the price? Come down, 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 down. And then also as well, new offer count's gone up. Prices come down, 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 down. So you see that repeating pattern. That's something that you need to remember, because otherwise you're going to lose money. Now, looking at these kind of like supply and demand curves are really, really important to helping you understand profitable products. But the one thing which is more dangerous is getting gated or IP complaints. So I want to show you some graphs right now where you can see the evidence of gatings and IP complaints, and we'll show you what they look like. So this is a listing a lot of sellers go through, and they're going to hear about selling stocks on Amazon. Now, there's nothing wrong with selling stocks. A lot of people do it, but let's show you through why you want to be careful about this graph. So let's scroll down and have a quick look. Now, I've just zoomed out from 1 year to all time, and what I'm specifically looking at is you can probably see there's a weird straight line down here. If I zoom in, what am I watching? I'm seeing it's been 60, 70, 80, come down to 60 again. All of a sudden, it jumps from 80 down to 18. That's a concern. When you see these big straight lines, not kind of steps going down, straight lines down, basically means it's either an IP complaint or a mass gating on that brand. So you can still see that sellers have been selling, but it has been that a number of sellers have been kicked off that listing. So what does this mean for you? When you're seeing gatings or IP complaints, it's not to say you can't sell, but you probably want to be very, very careful, i.e. don't buy too much stock. Now this listing, you can see here, is selling 9,000 units a month. So a lot of people probably went very deep. Now let's look at another one, Nike again, and you're seeing this kind of drop right here. This is a Nike product. You can see Nike socks. And again, you can see that big drop around November the 19th. Absolutely huge. Let's look at another one. This is a Milwaukee product that I absolutely love to use for example. So let's zoom in on this period here. What are you noticing? You're noticing, wow, really big drop here. Everyone's been kicked off. Most likely going to be a mass gating or an IP complaint that everyone's been kicked off the brand. Number two, you're probably going to see it again here. Lots of sellers got gated at this period of time, just went straight down. You just want to be really, really careful when you're seeing that. It means there could be problems. So ask around, asking communities like FastTrackFBA, have a look and asking, figuring out what, is this a brand that I need to be careful of? These are really big red warning flags that you should be mindful of. Now, we just talked about gatings and brand gatings, but I want to talk to you about private label products, which are basically products you should never buy because you're very likely to get those IP complaints. So let's show you what they look like right now. So here we are on this product right now, and I'm going to scroll down to the Keepa chart. And when we look at the Keepa chart, what's the one thing that we kind of notice which is quite unusual versus all other listings? We notice that the buy box price is very, very flat. When you're seeing that flat buy box price, it generally means that someone's basically just selling at a fixed price throughout time, not supply and demand with markets. Now, also as well, you can notice it says Carbon Beauty, Carbon Beauty, Carbon Beauty, Carbon Beauty. We've got someone else here and then back to Carbon Beauty. What we're seeing is the same seller throughout. Then on top of that, when we come down to the new offer count, I'm seeing 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. It kind of goes up sometimes, then comes back down. Goes up sometimes, come back down. Generally, it's always the same seller. Now, whenever I see this, for me, this is a big red flag. This is to say that other people have probably found this product, they bought it, started selling it, and then all of a sudden they got kicked off. Started selling it, kicked off. Started selling it, kicked off. This is probably a private label brand because it's very, very straight and very few sellers on the listing. And for me, I'm just going to be very, very careful of that. And I probably would avoid those listings. I personally want to see lots of sellers coming and going. This means that that product is safe. Lots of people have sold it. There's been no problems. I'm happy with that. They're products I like to sell, not the ones where there's very few sellers. They're very risky. Now, one of the things you will see is not just around private label, but you also will see what's known as buy box suppressed. And I'll show you what this looks like on Amazon listing and why it happens. So right now we've got this product right here. And when we look at the listing itself, what you see, there is no buy box. It says no featured offers available, see all buying options. That means Amazon's not showing any of the sellers. If you click on this, there are sellers on this listing. So there's people selling it, but none of them are winning that buy box. And when we scroll down, what do we notice? Well, first of all, we notice a really straight line. I probably wouldn't sell it in the first place. Number two, really straight line on the new offer count. I wouldn't sell that as well. And then number three, look at that new offer count. That's going to the moon. I probably wouldn't want to sell that anyway. But even if I did, what have I noticed? If you can see the buy box has actually disappeared. Around this area, let's do it right now, there is no pink line. There is no buy box. You can only see that new line. So what does that mean? It means buy box suppressed. The buy box is not showing. And so you can see it happened here and it happened here as well. And the question you might ask is why? What Amazon does is it checks the prices not only versus the historical. So if you're trying to sell it too high, Amazon won't show the buy box. So for example, this product right now has been selling for $62, absolutely fine, but it's actually been coming down. And today you can click all buying options and pick up for like $42, $28, $42. Now, you can buy that cheaper today than it has ever been on Amazon. So this doesn't mean that the price on Amazon is too expensive. If it is, Amazon will suppress the buy box. But what Amazon's doing is looking at the competitors' marketplaces or the competitors' storefronts off Amazon, and they're comparing prices to that. So what are we seeing? So this product right now, if you literally just search for the product, I did a really quick search here. You can do 1% 30 mil. We scroll down, and what I did notice is Kohl's is selling it. You'll notice Kohl's is selling for $31. It should be $62, but it's selling for $31. So Amazon is noticing that Kohl's are selling for $31, and they're saying, hey, this is cheaper on Kohl's than it is on Amazon. We're not going to show the buy box. We don't want to show that price. So whenever you see buy box suppressed, it either means the price is too high or another retailer is selling it cheaper than it is on Amazon, so Amazon hides it. Buy box suppressed, IP complaints, these are all things which you need to be really aware of. But the one big thing that you really need to be aware of is Section 3s. Everyone worries about this. This is danger zone. This is your account gets shut down, you cannot sell, and you have to go through a Section 3 review, which is probably one of the most stringent reviews you have to do. Now, I'm fortunate enough to know one of the products that gave customers a Section 3 or sellers a Section 3. And I want to show you exactly what we recognized in that listing that you need to look out for and stay away from completely. Let's jump onto that product right now. Okay, so here's the product that gave a number of sellers Section 3. And I want to show you the Keepa chart, and I want to show you what you need to be looking for in the actual data. So let's scroll down to the Keepa chart itself. Now, first things first, what you are going to notice is this drop down. Now that's the same as an IP complaint, and actually the Section 3s happened around that time. So looking for that direct line isn't going to be an easy idea to say, is this going to be a Section 3? But it can help you say that there should be warning flags. But let's say, for example, right now, we're only looking at this. So you wouldn't necessarily know that there was a big problem. What should you be looking at when you're doing your analysis for products? You want to come over to the data tab and you want to look at offers. And there's something very unique about this product, which will help you understand why a lot of sellers got Section 3, pretty much all of them. So let's go to Prime and let's go to include historical offers. Now, what I want to do is just come over and I want to click review count. So I want to sort this listing by number of reviews each seller has. And what I want you to notice here is look at the number of sellers who've got 0 reviews. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you've got 8 with 0. And how many got very low? I mean like below 15. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we've got 20 sellers with below 15 reviews, and then those over 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got lots of sellers who are either brand new, and they've got stock in around the same time. You can see these stock graphs, and they've got no reviews, and they've bought quite a lot. This guy bought 67, this guy bought 5, this guy stocked up to 16. They all bought a lot of stock. And what's the one key indicator that something's not right with a product is the fact that there are a lot of brand new sellers on there with a lot of stock. What does this mean? Generally, Section 3s happen for one of two reasons. Fake goods are being sold, or stolen goods are being sold. And so when you're noticing lots of brand new sellers with a lot of stock, it will either be fake, i.e. sold from a wholesaler who isn't legitimate, or maybe stolen, which is again sold from a wholesaler or a website which is not legitimate, but a lot of people are buying them. And if you see that, generally for me, I don't bother. I said, I'm not going to buy this product. I think I've got to be really, really careful, because we have just seen evidence of when you've got lots of sellers with very low review count, all buying the same product, it's a big red flag in Amazon's eyes, and they're likely to go to everyone on that listing. Everyone, Section 3 will suspend all your accounts. Please prove where you bought them from. Please show the authenticity of the products. And that's something that you need to be really, really careful with. Now, what I will say is hopefully you've enjoyed this video. And for me, doing this analysis is something that we do every single day and it's helped me to scale my business. But the other thing that's helped me to scale my business is by using virtual assistants. I pay $3 per hour for someone in the Philippines to source 40 hours per week for me, which changes the game, and is the reason why I'm making over $20,000 per month in my Amazon business, working a couple of hours. Now, if you're interested in learning how much profit a VA can generate for $3 per hour, check out the video around here. I think you're going to like it, and that's going to help you scale your business.